I'm gonna smile. I got to get away, just for a while. I'm gonna go for a ride. I'm gonna take my time. Maybe just for a day, I got to run away. And now, never gonna cry no more. Never gonna weep again. I'm gonna find that place in the sun. Man, you never see me cry. Fall back to my past. I'm gonna find that place in the sun.
Welcome to this week's Down the Shore.
For this week's show, we're going to be talking about collectibles. Over the past couple of weeks, you might have seen shows on Margaret's collection and also my collection. Well, this week, we're going to show you Debbie's collection.
Debbie has a collection of trading and gaming cards, and we're going to take a look at them, and she's going to tell us a little bit about them.
So stay with us.
We're with Debbie now, and if you don't know, she's one of the producers of our show. She's usually behind the camera, but today we're going to make her be in front of the camera. And Debbie collects cards, but not like cards you and I would collect, like baseball cards or things like that. She has unusual cards, and she's going to tell us a little bit about them.
Okay, well, we'll start with these over here. Just move these over. These are, we'll start with these. These are Terminator 2 cards. When the movie came out, I saw it about 12 times in the movie theater. So
I thought it was good, but I didn't see it 12 times.
I was a big T2 fan. I was ditching summer school, so.
Gotcha.
But
I didn't
don't
even know
tell the kids that.
I didn't even know they had T2 cards.
Oh yeah, a lot of the, especially sci-fi movies that create a big following, they'll come out with trading cards for them. Terminator 2, The Abyss, The Crow. I'm not sure about The Abyss. I'm not sure. I think I saw some, but The Crow, when that movie came out there, it was a whole set, which I got from my sister, as a matter of fact. But, you know, they have all kinds of things on the cards, including, there's one here with the creator, James Cameron, and a lot of the cards will have somebody everybody would recognize,
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it just details different scenes that happen in the movie. All the main characters are here.
Yeah, I watched because Linda Hamilton used to be on Beauty and the Beast.
Right,
And
yeah.
so that's
She
why I
looks
thought-
very different on here now.
She bulked up for it and everything. There's
Oh,
all
yeah.
kinds of the chin-ups and stuff.
Well,
like
they start off the movie with her, you know, flexing her muscles.
Right, right.
And there are also actually some scenes as well that did not appear in the movie, but were in the book. So they did cards about that. Like, I don't believe the entire dream sequence was in the movie, but they do have the cards for it.
My memory's not that good. I couldn't remember that far back.
Yeah, there's, you know, and they run through the whole movie, and they talk about different aspects of creating the movie. There's things written on the back
About them.
of each card. Basically, like, they'll say what's happening in the scene that the picture is from. And I also have here Star Trek cards.
Ah.
No collection would be complete without Star Trek.
cards, yeah.
And these with the red border are the Next Generation cards.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, this one here is my favorite episode.
The Naked Now.
Yes, The Naked Now is my favorite Star Trek Next Generation episode. Right there.
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, it was basically based the same as the original episode, The Naked Time. But they did it with a kind of more 90s effects and a little better acting.
It's Q.
Yes. There's Q, played by John Delancey.
Used to be on Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
Played Eugene. We knew that one.
Yep, he was a wacko then, too.
Yeah, he was. He played a wacko then.
I met him, as a matter of fact.
Did you?
I met him at a Star Trek con, my first Star Trek con in Atlantic City.
For those of you who don't know, a
Years
con
ago.
is a convention.
Oh,
Took me a
sorry.
while to get that lingo down, but it's a convention.
Yes.
Star Trek con, what?
And here with the blue border, we have the original cards.
There's Kirk.
And it's the same thing. They have the different episodes. Turn some of these this way so you can like the Galileo 7. This one is the
Conscience of the King. Conscience of the King.
Conscience of the King, yes. I didn't really watch original too much, so I don't know too much about the episodes.
I did, and I saw them, but I won't remember the title. I'll sit there and start watching. It's like, oh, I know that one, but I wouldn't know it by looking at the card for the most part.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty old too.
Any more of
you
these?
know.
I just want to see if I recognize one, but I don't think so.
Well, this one you might recognize, The City on the Edge of Forever,
yeah,
with the
I
time
remember that
portal.
one. Right. All right.
And
I think this one looks familiar, but I don't know,
Arena.
he battled some monsters a lot, so they all look like after a while. Yeah.
This one is also a very popular episode called The Devil in the Dark, with this rock-eating type creature.
Wonderful. It's neat the way they did with the lasers.
Yeah.
Lasers? Phasers.
Phasers.
They're laser phasers is what they are.
See, in Star Wars they're lasers, and in Star Trek they're phasers.
See, I got my sci-fi things messed up.
And there's also some here for the novels and the comic books.
There's Uhura.
Yes.
There's Chekhov, no?
Yep, that's Chekhov.
Let's get the two mixed up.
We have some of the comic books here. And there's one, the collector's place.
Is that when they went into, 1950s or whatever it was?
Right. They did a whole mobster type thing.
Right.
They had that going.
That was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny. Very nice.
But,
Colorful lot. Kind of neat.
some other plates.
Very nice. Okay. So there's your Star Trek and your T2 or Terminator 2. Better.
Terminator
known as.
2.
Those of us that are not with the lingo, it's Terminator 2.
Yes.
What do they call Terminator? T1?
Just Terminator,
Just
I guess.
Terminator.
I don't know.
I'm just curious. I
haven't thought about
In
it.
order to have a T2, you have to have a T1.
That's true. I don't know.
So it's called, okay, what else do you have for us?
They just call it the other one.
The other one. The first
The
one.
other one.
Uh,
Okay. Now I also have Larry Elmore is an artist who does a lot of the covers for the TSR books. TSR is a company that puts out a lot of fantasy books, gaming books, and gaming adventures. If you ever hear about Dungeons and Dragons, they basically put all that stuff out. And
yes, I've heard of it. I've played it once, actually.
yes, it's a fun game.
I'm not very good at it, but it was okay.
Well, you don't have to be good. That's the best part about the game. Is basically you just get to play a character. It's a lot of fun. But I have a full set of cards which are based on his paintings. A lot of them, if anybody out there reads Dragonlance books or Forgotten Realms books,
Bill.
you might recognize some. Like this one is the cover of Dragons of Autumn Twilight. Here. And we have all three Chronicles books, as a matter of fact. This is Dragons of Winter Night.
So the cards are chronicling the books, the stories?
Well, it's about his artwork,
Okay.
his paintings. He doesn't do all the TSR books, but he does a lot of them. This one is Dragons of Spring Dawning. And all three of those are they're Dragonlance books. And he also does some Forgotten Realms. This one is one of my favorites. This is a Forgotten Realms book called The Crystal Shard. Here, and that's also put out by TSR.
Now, he just does the artwork? So I'm a little confused. You'll have to...
Yeah,
But he does the artwork
paintings.
for the books.
Right.
Okay. All right.
This one here, I brought along the book that it appears on. This is Leaves from the Inn of the Last Home. And I have the book here because, so you can see, get a little better picture, because they're kind of small.
Yeah, this is... The Inn of the Last Home.
Yes. And this book here is also done by Larry Elmore, but there's no card for it because this book just came out. This was a long-awaited book.
Now, will a card come out for that book eventually?
Perhaps they might put out another series. I don't know. I'm watching out for them, but you never really know.
So are these fairly modern? Like they're not old? Like how long have you been collecting those type of cards?
Well, I only collected these, most of them I got at once.
Okay.
I got at a Star Trek con. But,
How long ago?
2 years ago, I believe.
Okay.
So, I bought most of them as a collection. There were a few missing that I had to get. But,
How much do they cost?
I don't really know what they're worth. Because I don't collect things to sell them. I basically collect them because they're really cool.
Right.
So
Do they have like a booklet out there that says how much they're worth or?
They do. They usually do, especially the Star Trek. Any Star Trek collectible, you can find out how much it's worth. So the cards, the Star Trek cards, you'd probably be able to find out. The Terminator 2 cards. There are a lot of books out there. I've never really been interested in how much everything's worth because, I don't know, I just like to collect them
Maybe
for
someday,
myself.
when you're very poor, you might be interested. But now you just do it for hobby, right? Just because.
Yeah. Especially the Elmore cards. I really like his artwork.
Yeah, the artwork is really neat.
And sometimes you can't find them in posters and things, so the cards are good.
And what do we have here?
What do we have here? Here we have magic cards, which a lot of people have probably heard of.
I have, but I have no idea what you do with them.
You play a game, and it's a rather complicated game if you try to describe it too much. But to talk about the cards a little, the game is based on 5 different colors. We have the blue cards here. We have the red deck. There's a green deck, a black deck, and a white deck. Now, they all come together in a box. You can buy a starter deck like this. This is a 4th edition starter deck. There's different types of cards. There's 4th edition, there's Ice Age. These are, over here, are fairly new. They're called the Mirage series. And each starter deck comes with this little rule book.
Oh, okay.
This little rule book is supposed to explain the game.
Good luck.
The only way I've been found to really learn the game is to watch other people play.
Okay.
Because you try to read the book and it's
Got little tiny writing too.
it just seems really complicated when you try to learn. But
See, look, it's got little tiny writing. See, and it's 100 pages, and by the time you get through that, you're not gonna know what you're doing.
they even have a glossary of terms at the end. Which
Ooh, let's see, what kind of glossary of terms do we have here? Credits, toughness, sacrifice, is this it?
Yeah.
Bury. A card that is buried must be sent to the graveyard without possibility of regeneration. That means you're dead. The card is dead, you no longer use it. Is that right? No.
Yeah.
Okay, now, did one of these sets come out before the other ones? Like, which is the oldest type of set? Does it matter?
I'm
Do you
not
use them all
sure.
together?
There was a set before this. I didn't start collecting them too long ago, so I started with the 4th edition cards. There were sets before that. But the Ice Age came out later, and the Mirage, they just recently came out. Each one you can play separately, or you can mix the cards together. Like, these are all 4th edition and Ice Age cards down here. If I wanted to take the Mirage cards, I can mix them into that, or I can play them separately.
So you could mix and match kind of a thing.
Right.
Okay, now, like for instance, this is called Stream of Life.
Right.
What would you do with this card?
What would I do with this? Okay. Well, this card here, it says target player gains X life. So what you would do is you tap mana. That's these cards.
Okay.
There are different ones for each color. The white is the Plains card, so this is a Plains card from a white deck. And you tap one forest, because it has a little symbol of a tree. And then the X is however many you tap, you get that many life points. And that's basically to prolong the game if you're, like, about to get killed. It's good to have one of these in reserve somewhere.
Y'all got that? Okay.
This is a real good card.
Well, I imagine, since it said Stream of Life and not Bury, I thought maybe that was the thing.
Yeah. Bury cards are good cards, too, because that could take an opponent's creature and
How
practically
long
save your life.
does a normal game take to play?
Well, that's hard to say, because, sometimes you could play a quick game. Sometimes I've played games that have run, like, hours. I have spent 6 hours one day playing. So, it depends on the skill level of whoever you're playing with. If they're going to go in for a quick kill, or if they're going to drag out the game, because you can either work with what you have on the table right away, or you can put a lot of effort into setting up a big army type thing, you know, a really big force, because what you're doing is you're playing a wizard, and each of these cards is a spell.
Okay. I like that idea.
Some of them are summon spells, and these are creatures, and you summon the creatures, and they're basically your army. And there are other spells like the Stream of Life card, where there's spells that you would either affect yourself, another player, or destroy a creature. And you know, you can put a lot of time into setting up a board where basically the game could last forever. You know, if you, I've played some games like that, and I'll tell you, the game gets old after playing for 6 hours.
I'm sure it does.
You need a long break.
Get bleary-eyed. Now, is the attraction the collecting of the cards or the game?
For a lot of people, I know it's the game itself, because the game is a lot of fun. It's really complicated when you try to learn it, but once you get the hang of it, it's a fun game. But the cards themselves, I mean, some of them have really great artwork, like the Zephyr Falcon I always liked. Has a really nice picture on there. And, you know, there are cards that I have that I don't even play with, because I just keep them.
Oh, it's a bird. I'm like, what's a Zephyr Falcon? It's a bird.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a falcon.
Well, you know, I got stuck on Zephyr and I didn't go from there. Okay, and when you're looking at it this way, you really can't tell what it is.
Yeah. And it's a really great card, too, because what you do when you attack somebody with one of your cards, you have to tap it, usually. And that means when they attack you, you can't use it to protect yourself. Well, this card doesn't tap. So this card, I have defeated, like, players among players by attacking with that card, going on to the next player, attacking him with the same card, and attacking each player with the same card in my turn. And then it's still available to block later, and I've just, like, chipped away at their life points that way.
Do you consider yourself a really good Magic player?
Not really. No, I'm still learning a lot of things.
I imagine. Now, does everybody bring their own cards to the game?
Usually, yeah.
And that's how you play? You play with the cards that you have?
Right.
And
sometimes what you can do is you play for ante, which is everybody has one card and they put it into the ante, and whoever wins gets the ante.
Ooh, so you can lose your card.
Right.
Ooh.
So that's big for the people who are into collecting and trading and, you know, putting a little bit on the line.
I'd hate to lose a card if I paid for it. That would annoy me.
Yeah.
Where did this one come from? Here?
Right there.
Okay.
Okay, now talking about land, and this is a forest. This is the kind of land you'd use to play the green cards here. And this is a swamp that you'd use to play black cards. And there's plains for the white deck, and islands for the blue deck, and then mountains for the red deck. Now these lands are mana. Basically you could think of them as power to cast spells. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of cards, like some of my favorite cards. This one is the Terror card. This is a great card because this just kills anything right off the bat. You cast this card and it'll kill just about any creature. And this is a Nightmare. I like this card because the artwork on there is really nice. You can see that. And this is a Scaled Worm. Now, I found some of these on sale in a comic book store, just separate, just the one card, single cards. I found about 20 of them on sale. I bought half of them. They were $0.25 each. I had to have them because they're great cards. They're 7/6 creatures, which makes them real powerful. And I'm gonna tell you what each thing means on the card. Now, you'll see up here a 7 and a little tree. The little tree means that you need one of the forests to cast it, and the 7 means you need 7 other lands. It doesn't matter what kind it is. It could be a forest, a swamp. Some people mix the colors of their decks. They might play green and black. So I usually play green and black, which means there would be swamps and forests in the deck. So that the 7, you can use 7 of whatever, but if there's a tree there, then you definitely have to use at least one forest. And this number down here where it says 7-6, that's the power and the toughness. Now, the 7 means that this will do 7 points of damage to another creature or to another player. And the 6 means that it takes 6 points of damage to kill it, inflicted upon it by another creature or a spell. Now, and this here, this is my absolute favorite card, the Dire Wolves. Now, they're not real powerful, they're only a 2/2 creature, but they're my absolute favorite because I like wolves, and they're really cool looking, and I'll play these. I have a few of these in my deck, and I'll just pull them out and play them, and I won't use them to attack anybody or block, because I don't want them to get hurt. I just want them to be out there. They're like my luck charm. Pull one of these out, and I always win the game. Anyway. Okay, now each one of these cards is basically a spell, except for the land cards. The Nightmare, like I showed you before, alright, this is a summon. So any of the creatures that you used to play, they're called summon cards. Now these are different from spells. This you have to cast in your turn. Now there are certain spells that you can cast in your turn, or you can cast them during somebody else's turn. Like this is an interrupt, a dark ritual. You can cast this at basically any time you need to. And that's the same with a sorcery. I'm sorry, no. It's the same with an instant. You can cast that at any time. Like I could use this tarot card. If a creature's attacking me and I don't have anything to block it with and I have this in my hand, I can pay 2 mana points, a swamp and any other land, and I would tap them, and then I could cast this and I could bury whatever creature's attacking me. And there are spells I have to cast within my turn, like an enchantment. This would these you usually put on creatures. And there's land enchantments. And then there are sorceries which you have to cast during your own turn. Now some of the creatures have special abilities too. Like this Nightmare. This Nightmare is a special card because it's a flying creature for 1, so only another flying creature could block it if it was attacking somebody. And it also has a special ability that it has the power and toughness, each equal to the number of swamps its controller has. So you see those stars there, that means if I'm playing this card and I have 3 swamps out laid down that I'm using, then this is a 3/3 creature. There's some also some other special abilities, like in this Spectre, Hypnotic Spectre. This one is a flying creature, and some of them have different effects, like you have to, if you're damaged by them, you have to discard certain things at certain times. One of the real cool things about these cards, though, is some of them have quotes from different authors. And this card I like. It's called A Scathed Zombie. And it has a quote on here I'll read to you from Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Coleridge. And it's, "They groaned, they stirred, they all uprose, nor spoke, nor moved their eyes. It had been strange, even in a dream, to have seen those dead men rise." So there's some mixed in there with quotes from Poe and, that dark stuff that people like to read. But that's really interesting. They try and make each card different, but there's no telling how many cards there are out there now because they just keep making more and more, and I just try to keep up.
This monster to attack this thing, you tap it?
Yeah, what does that mean? What's
Tapping,
tap mean?
Tapping means that you turn it on its side. Like, let me set up a quick deck real quick. A quick
Go ahead,
board
set up a quick board.
of some
But I'm not
creatures
playing,
there.
we're only checking.
We're only checking.
I can't even take Monopoly that lasts 45 minutes, let alone a game that lasts
These
6
out of the
hours.
Now, Bill knows how to play this game,
Yes,
don't
I
you,
do.
Bill?
I do.
Okay, get over there. Sit over there with them, and you can play a mock game here.
Can I move and let him play?
Oh, we could
No,
do
you
that.
can all
Go ahead,
squeeze
do
it.
that.
Why can't you do that?
You can't just set up a mock game. It's
Oh, really?
impossible.
Well, just let her set it up and show us what tapping means.
I'll just show. There.
How elaborate is this to set up?
As elaborate as you want to make it, apparently. according to what she was saying.
All right, here's
You weren't listening, right?
swamps.
I'm the cameraman, I don't listen.
Forest.
He's worried about camera angles.
Yeah, I'm doing camera angles, making everybody look good. You see.
Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, my hair's a mess, too.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. Thank God you haven't left the house.
Yes.
No, yeah, well, you were out in the front yard.
This is a swamp. It looks like a swamp. It is a swamp. That's a swamp card.
Swamp isn't good, I'm assuming.
I'm looking for an enchantment.
There's actually 2 swamp
This is
cards.
a good card. Where's my enchantment?
This is a vampire bat.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. See, special sound effects and everything.
Lanowar elves, I think.
Yes.
What do they do?
Lanowar.
Read it. What kind of powers does it have? What does it do? Is that what you would consider it? Powers that they have?
Yeah.
Add.
Special abilities.
What is it with the symbols? Summon elves.
That little symbol means tap.
Oh, tap is it?
So
a
when
little
you
arrow.
tap it.
You tap it. You add what? A tree?
Oh,
It looks like a tree. Oh, a forest. I was close. So you
I guess that's the wrong answer,
Your
huh, Bill?
play this ability as an interrupt. Hardened by their life in haunted Lanowar forest, these fierce beings are outcast among elven kind. Elven. They're outcast among elves, I think. And it's called elven kind.
They're kind of homely, too, aren't they?
Right there?
yeah.
Okay, what are you doing?
Okay.
All right, let's tap them.
All right, first of all, tapping means you turn it sideways. Okay? And while it's turned sideways, you can't use it. Like if I was going to attack with my elves, I have to turn it sideways, and that stays that way until my next turn. That way, when somebody wants to attack me and he's tapped, I can't use them to protect myself. I have to use my vampire bats. Okay? And
Sure. Look on Margaret's
when you
face.
want to cast a spell, like this is a tarot card. This is a really, really great card because with this you can kill basically anything. Okay, so this card, to cast it, I would tap, it's got a little skull, so I would tap a swamp, and it has a number 1, so I can use any kind of land for that number 1. I'll use another swamp. Okay, and then I use this card, say my opponent has a vampire bat. Basically, I use this card, tell him I'm casting the card, tell him I'm using it to destroy the bats. The bats go into the guy's graveyard, this goes into my graveyard, and that's how that works.
Never to be seen again in the
Because you
graveyard?
used it? Is that why I went to graveyard?
Right. Once you use a spell like this is an instant. Once you use an instant or a sorcery, it goes in your graveyard.
And you can't use it ever again.
Well, there are some cards that
Can bring it
will
back.
bring cards out of your graveyard. Yes.
Well, I learned a little bit more about magic cards. That's kind of good. And I was able to actually relate to the Star Trek and
Yeah.
the T2. That was good for me. I still don't know if I'm ready to tackle a game of Magic, but at least I know a little bit more about
We'll
it.
have to try it sometime. We'll do a show on it. How's that?
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's show.
We hope you enjoyed learning about Debbie's collectibles. I know I learned a lot more about trading cards and magic cards and a little bit about the game of Magic.
Right, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be showing you Bill's collection. But if you have a collection and you'd like to be on our show, you can...
You can send your letters to Down the Shore, P.O. Box 607, Seaside Heights, New Jersey, 08751.